Hello everyone and welcome to the online lecture series by Shet Vidya Mandir English High School and Junior College of Science and Commerce. Myself JAYESH RAJGOR and today we are going to study 12th Standard Economics New Syllabus Chapter number 3A Demand Analysis. Yes, my dear students, in the previous lecture we studied and understood what exactly demand means and how exactly demand analysis is important. You have already studied the concept of utility in the previous chapter. Utility is the basis of demand. Utility may generate a desire or a need to have a particular commodity, but utility on its own cannot generate demand for the commodity. Thus, this chapter is an effort to analyze the concept of demand. Demand analysis is concerned with consumer behavior. So, in today's video, we'll try and recap what exactly demand analysis is and understand the types of demand. In ordinary language, demand means a desire. Yes, desire means an urge to have something. In economics, demand means a desire which is backed by willingness and ability to pay. Yes, my dear students, these two things are very important to understand the concept. Any desire cannot be called as demand. In economics, demand means a desire which is always, and always backed by willingness and ability to pay. For example, if a person has the desire to purchase a television set, but every desire cannot be termed as demand, so a mere desire to purchase a television set does not become demand. So, it is important that the person who desires to purchase a television set must have adequate purchasing power. Only and only then it will be called as a demand. Otherwise, if he does not have the adequate purchasing power, then it will be simply a desire and not demand. So, here we can conclude that demand is equal to desire plus willingness to purchase and ability to pay. Let us now look at the types of demand. Here are some 5 types of demand, namely complementary demand, composite demand, competitive demand, indirect demand, and direct demand. To understand this chapter in detail, it is important to understand each one of them deeply. Let us take a look at them one by one. Complementary demand. When two or more goods are demanded jointly to satisfy a single want, it is known as joint or complementary demand. Yes, my dear students, when two or more goods are demanded jointly, or we can say together, to satisfy only a single want, such type of a demand is termed as joint demand, or we can say complementary demand in economics. For example, car and fuel, pen and ink, these are some basic examples which will make you understand the meaning of complementary demand. Always remember, when goods are demanded jointly, that too to satisfy a single want or one want, such demand is called as complementary or joint demand. The next type of demand is composite demand. Yes, my dear students, the demand for a commodity which can be put to several uses is known as composite demand. For example, electricity is demanded for several uses such as light, fan, washing machine, etc. Once again, my dear students, the key word or the important term here to understand is good or a commodity which can be put to several uses. Yes, my dear students, a product when demanded to satisfy several uses, such type of a demand will be termed as composite demand. For example, electricity, water, etc. And thus, such type of a demand is termed as composite demand. The next type is competitive demand. The word itself suggests the meaning. It is demand for those goods which are substitute for each other, or we can say compete with each other. For example, tea or coffee, sugar or jaggery. These products often compete with each other, and thus demand for such products is called as competitive demand. The next one is indirect demand. Indirect demand is also known as derived demand. Yes, my dear students. Goods are often classified as producers' goods and consumer goods. Always, the demand for goods which are needed for further production, it is the demand for producers' goods. And thus, it is always noted that the demand for producers' goods is termed as indirect demand. Hence, all factors of production have indirect or derived demand. For example, demand for workers in a sugar factory is derived or indirect, as without the workers, the sugar factory might not function properly. Moving on to the last one. The last one is derived, or we can say direct demand. Yes, my dear students. It is the demand by the consumer for goods which satisfy their wants directly. They serve direct consumption needs of the consumers. As I said earlier, goods are often classified as producers' goods and consumers' goods. Producer goods have indirect demand, whereas consumer goods have direct demand. They serve direct consumption needs of the consumers. Thus, it is the demand for consumer goods, for example, demand for cloth, sugar, etc. In this way, we understand that demand has five important types, namely direct demand, indirect demand, complementary demand, composite, and competitive demand. In the next video, we will study some more important answers from this chapter. Till then, stay connected, stay safe. Thank you very much.